think it's not really us, but more the Mino system.
All right, y'all, 4 o'clock. Let's go ahead and get the drainage committee meeting started. The record reflect that all members are present besides Mr. Blanchard and Mr. Brewer. Item number 1, request approval to ratify the previous term renewal to 4 years versus 2 years for Priscilla Mobile and Gerald Crochet to the PFR Bell River Consolidated Drainage District as previously adopted at the meeting on January 24th, 2024.
Motion.
Just to explain that in case y'all wondering, on the initial terms, there are 3 members with 4 years and then 2 members with 2. Upon reappointment, they should all go to 4 and then they staggered, and we failed to do that. So we trying to fix it.
Motion by Mr. Mathern,
Second.
second by Mr. Carter. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 2, request approval for culvert replacement at 259 Cinder Street, Ward 2.
Yes, sir. That's 60 foot of 18-inch culvert to fix some galvanized culverts that are rotting and collapsed. Viable project.
Total cost of $1,495.
Put in our package. Yeah. So moved.
Motion by Mr. Carter, to drainage sheet.
No, give me the thing I second, man. Come on. Ah, follow me together. Second.
Second by Mr. Mathern. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 3, discuss the labor cost for culvert replacement at 140 Pond Drive, Ward 3.
Actually, 3 and 4 are the same. That was my error for that project number 93154. I neglected to put the labor cost involved in that project, $600. That was a project from last meeting.
All right, so 3 and 4 goes together.
Yes, sir.
How much?
$600 labor. That's for Ward 3.
Yeah. So moved.
Total cost of $600. Motion by Mr. Carter,
Second.
second by Mr. Patterson. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 5. Request approval to sweep the outfalls, Ward 4.
That's actually 2 outfalls on Highway 1 in the Supreme area, mostly because of tornado related damage, and that's to get the trees out of the outfalls.
Total cost of $2,000.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Carter,
Second.
second by Mr. Mathern. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 6, discuss and identify a funding source for electric motor replacement with a master disconnect, $12,712.92 at the Monterey Pumping Station, and request approval for the purchase. Ward 4.
Well, this particular incident happened during and shortly after the event we had in Labbyville. And we had a surge that came in and it actually damaged the motor beyond repair and blew the disconnect up. Well, I was able to get it back running, but we do have to replace the motor because I swapped one out, an option we had. And after getting the price in, it came out at about $12,712.92.
It's a drainage district.
No, sir.
No, sir, it's not a drainage district. But it is in Mr. Charles' ward, and that's gonna be the cost of repair, but generally, it was caused by an event that happened. It wasn't like, normal runtime. Energy lost a phase, and it, 3-phase will continue running, so it pulled a tremendous amount of amps until it finally failed. We need to identify some way to either get it through general drainage or from his drainage allocation, Mr. Charles.
Yep. Well, you can find it as it, out of the allocation.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
did we ever move on that, that $500,000 allocation as pertains to drainage pumps for the parish? Is there any way maybe it'll help? Did we purchase anything with those funds?
That's all included in the pumps and the ring levy
It's
system.
all included in that, all right.
This is just some outside repairs we incur from events. I know it's a substantial cost, but. And actually, our pricing came off of the bid listings that we have. So I did price the motors off of the Parish bid list.
Mr. Bro, would you like to pull it from your drainage fund?
Yeah, we just assume.
Okay,
Did.
right, we'll pull it from the drainage fund, total cost of $12,712.92. All approved? I need a motion to do that.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Bro,
Second.
second by Mr. Mathern, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 7, discuss and identify funding source for damages to rental equipment. Total cost of $9,680.51 during the Monterey Outfall Project and request approval for payment.
I provided you guys with the identification for the list and the damages and also the pictures of the damages that were incurred. I mean, I think it's incidental. It's not, anything, it just, we were operating in a very tight area and things are gonna happen. We purchased the outside insurance policy, but it didn't cover incidentals. It was primarily for theft and fire and,
Tell us exactly what happened.
well, I mean, we were working in tight areas and you swinging and moving and
Machine was on a project for 2.5 months in the
2.5
swamp,
months
Chris.
in the swamp.
Rental machine and, like I told Mr. Blankenship, I guess it's our discretion not to go, when next time we rent a machine, we don't rent the brand new one, we rent the old one that's been dinged, because when it got back to the dealership, they said, well, this thing's got some dings, some little dents on it. We got $9,000 worth of cosmetic damage on it. It's like,
Who
well,
was the operator?
one of our employees.
Okay,
But,
is that one employee out there by himself operating that?
yes, sir, he was 2.5
So why,
months.
why we don't have a spotter? You know, so you know you're in a tight area. So why you have somebody out there directing him, telling him when to stop, when he getting close to something or not?
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess I guess it all goes back to the fact maybe he should have needed a little bit more experience. And you bring up a valid point, but that takes away another employee. And that employee, and most of the time, you might not need a spotter. It's only every so often when you going through a set of trees, or a tree falls on, or it happened that way, you know. We tried to do some negotiations with them. They didn't want to budge. We're on the hook for $9,000 for damages.
What year machine is this?
I have to look at it, I have to ask him, but I think it was a 23 or 22.
This machine has been turned back in?
Yes,
Yes.
I was expecting to get some work done with this machine in the Piedmont area. Why did we turn it back in?
well, the funding was allocated for a specific project. And we spent almost the entire amount on it, but we also were short on operators. Because we finished the project there, but we ultimately didn't have an operator to continue with at that time. But $24,000 was allocated to the Monterey's, and the project was completed and usage was done and we returned it.
Did Mr. Blankenship check with anyone else to see if they needed this 320 anywhere in there, or?
We wouldn't have had time to allocate funds for it by the time it was turned in. Because this was
What
go
I'm saying,
based on
before we
money.
turn it in, we should have checked with other areas. I know I could have used it in Ward 8.
Let's talk about these damages and how we're gonna avoid this from happening in the future. I mean, every time something happens, you know, y'all come to the jury and we gotta come up with the money to pay for it, or get the equipment fixed. But what are y'all doing as supervisors to stop this stuff from happening over and over again?
You can't be on an outfall project consistently every day.
You got one man working an entire job by himself the whole time.
Okay?
You said it's in a tight area.
It's gonna be because you got 30 years of growth there.
Okay, so you don't think you need somebody out there to let him know when he get too close to a tree or something like that?
Yeah, I guess there are situations at some point when they do, but sometimes when he's on a stretch where they'd have to, I guess, we'd have to pull him off and, he'd have to almost let us know when he thinks he's in a tight situation, because a lot of times that spotter might just be sitting there sleeping in the truck most of the time, because it might just be once or twice a week or 3 times a week. But I guess our plan of action would be to let that operator know that when he gets in tight spots, he's got to be more careful with what he's doing.
The operator running a random machine, he ought to know better.
This
It's
machine
not
had
on that
hydraulic
reason,
pump?
but it's not on that reason. If something happened to the operator while you out in the equipment, take with a heart attack, take sick, he's the only one on site. So you should have somebody out there with him regardless.
But that's kind of like the state operates, where they got one person watching, they got three people watching, one person cut grass. We've never had that mentality, because we try to let people go on their own and do the jobs so we can
But there's
save
no
y'all
reason
money.
for, I understand what you're saying, but there's no reason to have one man on a job site by himself. If something happened to that one man, there's no way for him to communicate to y'all that he's down.
Yeah, but our whole concept, the way we work is, like, people that spray grass are by themselves, the boom tractor operator's by himself, we got a machine on the mile right now, he's by himself, that's
I
the way
think
we
Chris is
work.
talking about tight areas.
Yeah,
Okay, boom truck, I mean, spraying grass, that's something totally different. But out there working on a job site like that, one man on the job site shouldn't happen. Just like that man got with that motorbike that got caught up.
But he-
That's a bad situation.
You just, the only thing I guess around the machine man should be more careful.
Look, I don't think this all happened in one day.
no, it's
No,
it was over a
no.
3 month period,
And I
over a
mean-
3 month period, 2.5 month period.
I mean,
And you're working in an area that hadn't been cleared in 25 years. You're gonna have large amounts of growth there. They're clearing before your long reach can do the job.
So you agree that it happened in one day, so why did jury just find out about the damage now?
Cause we just found out not long ago.
So,
now,
When they give us a
y'all never
report.
saw this machine while y'all was on the job?
I
Why
did.
this,
We went out there, but
The
I
machine
wasn't,
stayed in the field the whole time.
it was in the field. We wasn't looking for cosmetic work and climbing on top of the machine, no.
from the pictures, I mean, you should see something that something's been damaged and you could address the operator right then and there to be more careful. Like I said, I don't think this happened overnight, just one day.
No, I agree, it happened over.
That's over a period of time.
Do they make a policy that covers that?
We'll have to look deeper into it. We bought our external policy, it just didn't cover this after we found out.
Look for one that.
We asked, we have to look for one that covers incidents, correct?
we gonna get the money from?
So this job here took place, I wanna say under Go Mesa project, right?
Right.
So do we have $9,000 in the Go Mesa fund that can cover, because was it the use of rental of this machine? Can we get the funds from there?
There is $9,000 if that's a viable expense, I can't use. We would find out after the fact if they come back and say, oh, no, yay or nay.
That's all we do is try,
Right.
see what happens.
So I had $24,000 in the budget run. From what I calculated, I came out at $19,797.34. So that leaves $4,202.66 remaining to the original budgeted money.
Okay.
So that's available if we could use it and just add, additional funding.
We just added to the rental?
Added,
Where's that allocation that you're talking about, Brian?
It's on the, we'd have to look back at our Go Mesa stuff, but it's 24,000. It's on the Go Mesa spreadsheet.
See if we can use that money for that, and we'll come.
we can use the remaining, make a motion to use those funds, and then if you, I think the difference is what? What you said your difference was?
I don't calculate, but
Amazing.
I had 4,202.66. Left from the original allocation,
2002. 66.
4,202.66.
And what was that funding for? What was the 24,000 for?
That was for the rental of the machine,
The total.
total rental of the machine,
He was
estimated
short
rental.
of the
Gotcha.
estimate.
Okay.
That was in Mr. Bro's award.
Yes.
Take that from you, Mr. Bro, you're gonna be running short.
Yeah, you ain't gonna have nothing left.
I'm bankrupt already.
Make a motion, take it out of Go Mesa's, offer the retainer that we have, money that we have left over and see what happens. We can't come back to the table.
I mean, it may be a viable expense.
Right, that's what I said.
There's nobody for us to call and
It's
check.
it's rental equipment, so it's, Go Mesa normally can be used for rent.
Right,
Right,
so you got a difference of $5,478.51, if you wanna make a motion to approve.
5,400, what, Ron?
Just round it to 5,500.
5,500, okay.
Right, so we got a motion on the floor by Mr. Mathern to use Go Mesa funds for total of $5,500 for damages. Motion by Mr. Mathern, second by Mr. Bro, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 8, request approval for culvert replacement 114 Phillips Street. Morning.
Correct. Correct, it's 120 feet of 50-inch plastic culverts, it's galvanized all the way through and they all rotted out. It'll be one team, two bands.
Total cost of $2,760.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Mathern,
Second.
second by Mr. Carter, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 9, discuss and identify a funding source for electric motor replacement, $2,842 at Davis North Bay Road, and request approval for purchase.
That's for you, Mr. Ponville. Spoke to you about it. The electric motor failed and is non-repairable. And the cost that is on this sheet comes over the parish, bid sheet. So I'm requesting to purchase it and we can continue on with the project. We also, removed the boards today and started the digging, so we're looking at possibly about 3 days.
And that could be, come out my drainage fund.
Right with it?
Yeah.
Motion on the floor.
Motion on the floor by Mr. Mathern, second by Mr. Bro. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 10, discuss and identify a funding source for parish labor of $1,100 and request approval for repairs at Davis North Bay Road.
So it's extensive and I estimated at about 4 days worth of labor that was gonna be required to do the entire job. We removed the roof, we started the project trying to get it done and we may finish it a little bit early, but this is the labor that's estimated for the project.
Same thing, we'll,
On the
I
drainage,
recommend we pull it from
Motion.
drainage. Motion by Mr. Mathern, second by Mr. Bro, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 11, update on drainage projects and estimated time of completion.
I put y'all with
Go on.
a list right here of all the projects, and I went over each one. The last couple of weeks, we've been picking up, tornado debris. We started Monday on the mediator project, and in the rain, the section we could do that was dry, so we moved off of there, and then today we was in Ward 8. We did one, gate valve, and we did some sweeping on, Simone Street. We want to move back. We have issue with the right-of-way agreement or the knowledge of the landowners. We want to move back maybe on Lee Drive, on Bayou Drive again tomorrow. And I talked to the drainage foreman. We have 4 private jobs we need to do. So that's, they've been on hold for a couple of weeks. So we've got three jobs on 308 and one in Lucky subdivision. So that'll take us all the way through this week. And then next week, we're waiting on culverts for 140 Pond Drive and Saturday Drive. And there was that outfall on 7400. I think he said by the beginning of next week, we'll have that 300 feet of culvert. So we'll start back on those projects. But like I said, we had a big list of private jobs that came up on us during the hurricane event. And y'all know not only do we do drainage projects, but we got to keep the people of this parish happy with private jobs. So we're gonna try to work on those for the rest of the week. Did you have any, Mr. Palmer, did you get a chance to talk to those people on,
I didn't.
didn't?
No,
Okay,
no, sir.
we swept half of Simone. Once we go back and finish that other one, we'll get the other half while we're in your ward.
Support, did y'all finish the cover on 4-3 yet?
No, sir, we did not. Like I said, we got kind of behind, Chris, with the tornadoes, and I'll see if we can maybe Monday, Tuesday next week, because I said we got them 3 private jobs we got to do, and we're still waiting on culverts for 3 or 4 of these projects, and that'll be middle of next week, so maybe Monday, Tuesday of next week. We have, I think, those culverts in stock, because that was road and bridge. We keep some road and bridge assets in stock.
Paul, I know we got a lot of stuff on hand, and it looks good, what you got here. But that gate, that always little kids playing on that levee, and I got to
Yes.
get them off the levee yesterday playing on it, they're on the bumps, they're on everything. You know, if you can squeeze that in, on a rainy day or whatever.
That's a job the maintenance crew can probably do.
Once we finish
I
the
I-
project
That's-
at Davis
that's
North
gonna
Bay
be a
Road, we'll
maintenance
slide
job.
over.
I just got kids playing on it, new kids in subdivision, they think it's a playground, so.
Okay,
I need
we'll
that
get
date.
maintenance
got
on
you.
that one.
Once we finish the, Davis North
Davis
Bay
North Bay
project.
Road.
Oh, how's the new hire working out with the catch basins?
He will not start till Monday. He didn't, and I talked to him today, all his physical, everything came back positive, everything, so he'll be ready to go Monday. And that'll be his, don't worry, I know you're on for that, that'll be the only thing he will do till he finishes everyone on that list. Yes, sir.
Damn it, boy, it'll be worried.
Uh,
You order that?
Any more questions on, updates on drainage projects? All right.
We got finished.
Yes, sir.
Item number 12, discuss drainage issues on Dino Street, Ward 9.
That's a project in Mr. Myron's ward. It's gonna require 40 foot of 15 inch culverts.
Good, we can't use the cover you guys had now, that's still.
They got a couple,
covered.
they undersized, man.
Oh, they're on the side.
Undersized. We need to go a little bigger.
What's going on here?
You got-
It's elevation's not right on it.
So the culverts need to be lowered, but also at the end of the outfall, on the opposite side of the driveway, it needs to be dug. So we put it all, he's got two little driveways. They probably could be dropped about 3 inches. But he's gonna eventually culvert the whole thing, so we're gonna replace the culverts because they're undersized.
So it's just elevation.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
they-
Elevation and
yeah.
undersized culverts. Just,
Motion floor
All
from
right,
the
we got
drain.
a total cost of $2,760. Motion by Mr. Mathern.
no,
No, no, no, no, no, no.
$850.
You about to finish
Man,
one
what-
project. A total cost of $850. Motion by Mr. Mathern.
$850, yes.
850, yeah. Motion by Mr. Mathern, second by Mr. Carter, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 13, discuss the possible replacement of engines at parish-wide drainage pump stations that require propane as a fuel source.
So,
Michael Ship.
gentlemen, I just wanna bring this to the table. You know, as we've been going through this, seems like our redundancy pumps are becoming more primary pumps in certain situations. Like we lost both our electric engines at Maury's the other day, and we had one engine running. Well, then we went down to nothing, because we had another issue, but we fixed it. But roughly, on a 500 gallon propane tank, running around the clock, that engine run about 2 days. If we were to convert it to a diesel on a compatible horsepower, we'd probably get 90 hours out of it, which is a little better than 4 days, a little bit less than 4 days runtime. So the cost savings would be tremendous in the end by upgrading some of these units eventually. Just wanted to bring it to the table a little bit, because we burned through two 500 gallon tanks pretty quick running to try to catch up with the water once we lose our electric side. We're gonna try to gravity drain it a little bit to help. Maybe less running time, but we are running into this situation in certain areas.
How many stations we have like this that you
Um,
require a tank to be the fuel
It's
source?
probably about 6 drainage areas and,
you got more in Bar-Louis than anything else.
yeah,
You got-
more by Lewis.
We got 4, I think we got, Little Texas has 2, Maury 1, we got,
Just 6,
yeah, about 6 or 7.
6 altogether, about 6 or 7 that require propane. And it would be feasible to go to diesel, because we have our storage here at our office, we can store 4,400 gallons. 2,200 gallons of diesel is easily accessible. And, we could easily fill the units up in the future. Just something to think about, gentlemen, and be a good recommendation for our areas that these, redundancy pumps are becoming
Primary.
Any
primary
reason why
pumps.
they went with propane back then instead of diesel?
No idea, that was before my time,
No, I
sir.
don't know that either. Don't know that.
But it's just something we can look at.
We would do that with electricity. We didn't think like, yeah, diesel, less maintenance, probably what we did.
How old are these engines?
Oh, they're probably 20 years old, 25 years old.
One of Maury is over 20.
Yep. Time to do a little updating and get some efficiency out of
We
it.
just gotta find a funding source.
Yep. I'll bring a little more information at the next meeting, so we can identify if you choose to.
All right, no action taken there. All right, item number 14, discuss the possible purchase of a 320 class excavator or 55,000 pound machine.
So as we've been moving through these outfall projects, we are realizing that we probably could use a 55,000 bigger machine. Some of the things we can't do with the 140, but we can do it with a 55,000 pound machine. And it's not necessary to have a long reach. So I just wanted to bring it to the table, and I kind of got a little pricing on it, today, through the state bid. I didn't present it, but I do have some pricing on it. And it'd be around $247,114.02 for a 220E, which is a 50,000 pound machine. And that's off a state contract. So
It's a
it'd be
Caterpillar
something,
machine?
no, it's case,
It's a case. Caterpillar's not on state bid.
they're not on state bid. So it'd just be something, to think about
So,
in the future.
Sorry?
funding source,
No, that's what we were talking about, identifying it if it was possible.
Kim, you got a funding source?
First time I get the number, so no, I never. I mean, the only viable funding source is drainage.
It's something we just need to consider, like you
Yeah,
said,
just
Mr.
consider
Palmer,
it, bring it to the next
you have a
meeting.
need for one right now in your ward, and it comes in more handy, you know,
Yeah.
then we, and then that is a very good price compared to, that machine lists for 284, and they're giving us a rebate almost 40 grand on that machine through state bid contract.
And I know a lot of, Mr. Ira's ward, there's a lot of things we can do with a 320 or 50,000 pound class machine versus the long reach. So we can finish our long reach projects and continue on with this type of machine.
Would it basically just be used for drainage or road and bridge as well?
Drainage,
Just
drainage only.
And then once we finish all the outfall or catch up with all the outfall projects, we can continue a lot of maintenance with this machine versus long reach. So I just wanted to bring that to the
Yeah,
table.
they use it with road and bridge every now and then, on certain projects.
Big projects. Yeah. Big projects.
Like the one we just done.
Said the cost there,
I look at the 2024 budget and see, I don't think we have equipment really
I
in
didn't
it.
put any
We
equipment
didn't
for our
put
budget.
anything
I
in
didn't
it.
put any equipment for our budget, so that's why I'm saying, you like get a dump truck or something to that effect, you know, it's a little more pricey, but I think we're a couple of years without any equipment,
We'll report back.
yes.
right? So item 14, we're gonna get an update on the next meeting. All right, motion to adjourn?
No, I got,
No.
I don't know that, but I got a rental machine that's rentals out of it. I got to rent it for another month. So I just need to get $3,000 out of my drainage to rent it for another month.
Kim, that's 93,159. He's asking for another month on that rental.
Why you wanna do that, Mark?
Because I don't have, I didn't have to have a pump there. Okay, my pump's not in yet. It'll be another couple of weeks before it comes in. I just want to rent it till I have one there.
Ron, how long before we get a pump there?
I gave you
Permanent
the,
pump.
well, permanent pump, that
Permanent.
depends on
How
our,
soon can we get power there?
that depends on our, permitting source.
Justin, how soon can we get power?
Not Justin, Mr.
He's not in here.
Joseph's not here. So he was working on Myron's permits for that side of the road. Cause there's been a pump order, it's there.
There's a pole there. How
There's no
soon can
power
we
there.
get-
There's no
How
power.
soon can we get power to
I
that
sent an
pole?
email to Energy requesting the
Call
engineer.
Stacy tomorrow morning and get with her.
Call her again. She just said file it with the engineer. But electric pump on that side of the road, it'll only be beneficial if they got power, but that's why we have a diesel order for that side of the road. And there's been a pump that's purchased that's sitting in a warehouse over there. Waiting on the permits and approval for that.
So we
I
got,
don't want to do it, but I ain't got no choice.
I think it's just a waste of money.
I gotta have a pump there, okay, bro? Motion on the floor.
We need a motion to
You
deviate.
got
Motion deviated.
a motion to deviate by Mr. Mathern, second by Mr. Doe. All in favor? Right, so, before we vote on it, it's, to supply Mr. Mathern with another $3,000 for a pump rental,
That's what it is, all right?
Mhm.
Can't get no discount?
right?
I can try.
Right, the, first call from the audience, second call, third call. No public comment, all right. Motion by Mr. Mathern. Second by Mr. Pro, all in favor? Any opposed?
Public comment.
I didn't. Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Motion to adjourn, motion by Mr. Bro, second by Mr. Mathern, meeting adjourned.
Get our 4:40 Finance Committee meeting called to order. All members are present except for Mr. Nakam. First item, request approval to pay list of bills submitted through February 9th, 2024.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Alcorn,
Second.
second by Mr. Carter. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Request approval for president to sign CEA with Louisiana Department of Veterans Affairs for the year 2024 in the amount of $14,534 annually.
All right, this is our contribution to the Veterans Office that we are required to pay.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Carter,
Second.
second by Mr. Mathern. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Consider entering into a contract with Jackson Parish Sheriff's Office for the reserving of 2 beds for juvenile.
You want to go there or?
So the sheriff approached us, a couple weeks ago, and, he reviewed his current cost for this past year, and the potential cost of having a contract with Jackson Parish. Currently, some of our juveniles are housed in Terrebonne, you get the other parish in in Louisiana, but also a facility in Mississippi.
Right.
So what he looked at was, if we contract with Jackson Parish, we would look at possibly, based on last year's numbers, we would save about $50,000. So he's just looking at it as a cost saving measure for the parish, if we enter into the contract with Jackson Parish. And then that would also, make sure that any juveniles being held would be in the state of Louisiana, not, sent out of state in the state of Mississippi. He did say that there was a challenge, before him now, relative to that, because the Louisiana facility is under the Louisiana Department of Corrections, and Mississippi operates under different rules. So he just said that this would alleviate that issue, that's coming up as well.
Motion to approve.
Yeah.
Right, so we're gonna have to pay, the contract makes us have to pay for 2 beds to reserve 2, but the rate on, is $105 a day versus a rate any other time is $300 a day, and there's no reserve. So we did some numbers and we think it's gonna be beneficial.
Motion.
All right, motion to enter into the contract by Mr. Alcorn,
Second.
second by Mr. Mathern. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Request authorization to allow first responders to apply for the $2,500 exemption of property tax under Act number 179. This is something also that the sheriff came, and talked to us about. This is an act that the legislature passed, but they, one more step in it is they required the local jurisdictions to adopt it for their jurisdiction. And what this would allow is the, firefighters and, sheriff's office personnel, to apply for an additional $2,500 exemption on their property tax. And an additional requirement of that act that was passed is that the parish cannot increase revenues outside of that to make up for what would be,
Lost.
what would be
Forfeited.
lost due to this additional exemption. The sheriff gave us a number for his employees. You have that? He did just a poll of his employees just to see about what their numbers would be, and,
No, I didn't write that.
Well, see, it
It
was-
was minimal.
it was a couple $1,000s.
Yeah.
On the grand scheme. So the thing that, we have to know, right, is that if a person's property isn't valued more than 75,000, they're already homestead exempt. So this would basically increase their homestead exemption for first responders from 75,000 to 77,500.
And it doesn't mean not every firefighter or first responder is qualified. There's a list of criteria that must be met, which is why the impact, which is why the impact of his office was minimal.
That's right. So the fire chiefs will have to
Mhm.
sign it, and this is, this exemption needs to be applied for annually. It's not a once and done thing. So every year, those first responders will have to get the paperwork filled out with their chief or with the sheriff and have it submitted to the assessor.
Motion.
Before the assessor.
I'm all for it, but what happens to our government employees who are just, they first responders too, anytime we have something going on around here too as well?
They're
They don't meet that criteria.
they're not
They don't
included in
meet
that.
the
This was passed by the state legislature
Don't meet
and
the
voted on
criteria.
by the citizens of Louisiana. So
I understand what you're saying, but it's
Trying to
not,
get
it's
y'all
not
in
something
there.
that we can do at the parish level.
Motion.
Thank you.
Motion by Mr. Carter,
Second.
second by Mr. Mathern, all in favor?
Uh,
Opposed?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn by Mr. Alcorn,
Second.
second by Mr. Carter, all in favor? Opposed? Meeting adjourned.
Personnel committee moved to the left, you go behind the fire station.
except for Mr. Nakane. Item number one, request approval for the reversal of the appointment of Carol T. Oakland to replace T.J. Blanchard on the Library Board of Controls.
Yes, there was a miscommunication. They are seeking applications for the position. She brought that application here. And our assumption was the library brought it to us as their recommendation. So we need to revoke the jury's decision and allow all the applicants to be submitted to you all. So,
Motion?
Motion by Ms. Pine,
Second.
second by Mr. Blanchard, all in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Pass. Item number two, request approval of resignation of Ira Patero Jr. to the Bayou Lewis Recreational District Number One Board of Directors.
Yeah, this is just me, stepping down from the recreation district, getting off the board. And then we'll go ahead, next item. Have no
Motion by
one.
Mr. Carter,
Second.
second by Mr. Blanchard, all in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion pass. Number three, request approval to appoint Michael Terrio to the Bayou Lewis Recreation District Number One Board of Directors.
So move.
Motion by Mr. Blanchard.
Second.
Second by Mr. Palmville, all in favor?
Aye.
Nays. Motion passed. Number four,
excuse
request
me,
of,
Mike, and I did confer with Mr. Calabro. He's gonna look further into it to be sure, but he thinks the difference is the fact that we fund the drainage district, so, or the rec district, so you can't be on both boards. It's almost like dual office holding to a certain extent. But he's gonna follow up on something to make sure, and I'll get with you.
Why, you wanted to stay on
No.
He's on the drainage board too, and he hadn't found a replacement yet, so
it? Okay, maybe it'll stay, maybe it'll hold duels,
we'll see.
because there are, some.
Mr. Irvin didn't wanna get
situations
item number four, request approval of amendments to the personnel manual as presented.
Okay, I'm not gonna sit here and read all of this to you all. It's a lot, it's lengthy. I'm just gonna kind of summarize it. We had to, amend our policy for engineering and architect and written requirements. And again, in trying to make it easier for our employees to not have to go searching for it somewhere, we're trying to put it in a policy where if they can just find contracts and everything that's required, it would be right there. It talks about change orders and acceptance of contracts and everything like that. And then it continues on where the federal clause requirements, when we have federal money, then we can't have just a basic contract. We have to have a certain contract with all these clauses. Well, it's pages and pages long. So again, instead of stating in the policy, federal contracts are required, the federal clauses, here are the clauses, here's the language. Copy and paste and put it in your contract to make sure. Again, if you keep going through that, then it gets to the internal control policies for us as far as what's in our manual. And you'll see a lot of red lines, and all that is with our new hires, we changed some of the job titles for the tasks that are being done. It's basically, with Haven being a part of it, she's doing more on the accounting side as well. So we're having to adjust our language, and that's what all these changes are as you go through. Okay, pages and pages of it. Most of it is just titles taken out. For example, taking out federal programs accountant and just leaving it as accountant. That way it just keeps it simpler. It's one of.
Cleaning it up.
Yeah, cleaning it up. And we try to do this as often as we have a chance, but when we have changes. So again, I do recommend this. There's no extreme policy change or anything. It's just putting in more information for the staff, specifically Road and Bridge, because they are doing a lot of contracts internally now to give them the guidance that they need to have it in front of them. So I do recommend approval. Also, one other thing. This is for consideration. If you look at the last page, right before the sheet, right before tabby E6, this is for consideration for you all. This is the evaluation form. And when we first presented the evaluation form, if you look at the bottom section to the right that's highlighted, I think your copy should be highlighted. Originally, our proposal was exceeds requirements 2 steps, which was 6%. Meets requirements was 1 step, which was 3%. Needs improvement was, I think, I'm not sure, half a step, maybe 1.5%, and then no increase. Well, as we do our budgets from year to year, we never put in a 6% increase. We put in always a 3% increase. So my recommendation to you all is, can we modify this form for the manual to actually reflect that? This proposal to the right actually serves, it actually reflects what we did in 2024 that were in line with the evaluations. Realistically, even if somebody had and exceeds requirement, our budget doesn't allow for a 6% increase, where you all did allow us that discretion to have the 3%. So this is more in line of what we actually did in January. And it's not to say it can't be changed further along, but it's more of an actual representation of what this board does. So this would, if you are not sure about this, I would recommend just holding off on this one, but everything else needs to be approved and incorporated. And that's my proposal.
I know whenever we had initially discussed the evaluation form, I had questioned why we even put a percentage in there. I don't see why it's necessary for us to include what that percentage is if we're gonna
We're not sure
basically
from year to
change it
year what
anyway,
is.
year to year, depending on what's available in the budget.
And we don't even have to have, we don't have to have a percentage noted. We don't even have to have a step noted, but we have to have something identifying something. This, you know, a measurable mechanism. It can either be a step, which is typically equivalent to 3%.
I guess what I want to make sure that if for some reason the jury we can't give the 3%, you know, for budget restrictions or something, that the employees don't come back and say, well, no, the policy says you have to give the 3%.
Right, how about we just put TBD, to be determined? And that can fluctuate every year with the budget numbers.
Right, up or down.
Up or down.
Safe with that. That's a
Up or
safety
down.
net right there.
Right,
That's a safety
to be determined would be good with everyone?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. I'll make those changes.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Palmville,
Second.
second by Mr. Blanchard, all in favor?
None.
Nays? Motion passed.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn by Mr. Palmville, second by Mr. Carl, all in favor? Meeting adjourned.
We'll call to order our 5 o'clock Engineering Grants Committee meeting. Let the record reflect that our chairman, Mr. Nakane, is not present. Update on project status and funding sources by GIS Engineering.
Good afternoon, happy Valentine's Day, Jerry. 2 weeks ago, I was not here. We were in Mardi Gras, DC. And up there, we met with our delegation across the board, congressional delegation, also our legislators, new legislators also from this area, and also, again, the congressional delegation, pushing the drainage concerns of the parish and also adjacent parishes and adjacent levee boards across the South. So it was a good 3 days. I did not stay for the actual Mardi Gras itself, but nonetheless, it was a good time to acquaint with everybody and get a lot of business done. Moving forward, looking at some of the funding sources. And last time I was here, we spoke on the CPRA annual plan. And that public comment closes next week, February 18th. I want to ask if we can make a motion or get the Mr. Blanchard's approval with a motion that he can sign a letter on behalf of the jury to send into CPRA's public comment to add the Amelia Levy project back into add it into the annual plan from the master plan. In that letter, we will reference that it is part of the mitigation master plan parish. It's part of the Mississippi River tributaries and core, and also it's located in their actual master plan. So that was one request, if we can. And then other funding sources, there are several, I guess, grants that are out there that are coming to an end, I guess, the end of February and March. And so I'll not the end of February, but I'll get back to you on those. So I do apologize for my ignorance on that, but anyway.
So I entertain a motion to request CPRA include the Amelia Levy project that is currently in the master plan into the annual plan. Can you get a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Diaz, second by Mr. Mathern. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
And that's what I have primarily right now. I've been working with the parish officials on the projects that we have going forward. So we're getting started.
Make sure when, hopefully around May or June, you can let us know about the September fly-in, so where we can continue to advocate for this parish as pertains to projects like the Amelia Levy structure. Make sure you get that information, so hopefully we can make a motion to rule so we all can go back, because we definitely need to continue doing what we're doing. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Jacob.
Update from the grants coordinator.
Good evening. Shell Beach Capital Outlay, we have a match shortfall. We'll lose $50,000 state funding unless we can come up with an additional $16,667 due to CPRA contributing only $150,000. Sent an email earlier to you all. Keep Louisiana Beautiful as a grant recipient. We have to participate in Love the Boot Week, which is the state's largest litter cleanup and beautification event. It's held April 20th through the 28th. So I'm open to suggestions on areas throughout the parish that could use some cleanup. Constant Canal, we're still working on the cost analysis.
Let's go back to the Keep Louisiana Beautiful. Is it still the same week that you said the kids are testing, so the kids are not able to volunteer? Is that accurate?
Right, well, he never got back with me, but yeah, that's leak tested.
Okay, so Rietta and I talked about this, and this is a requirement of the grant. So since the kids might not be an option for volunteers, we just, in talking, we thought maybe that the police jury could designate a parish employees a day to do it. Once we could designate the time, I mean, the locations of what we would do, we would make sure everybody had a place to be, whether that would be from 8 to 12 or 8 to 2 or whatever on a day of work, and that would be our contribution and our ability to meet this requirement of the grant.
The walking the park right here.
Yeah, we got this park right here, that's a viable option. I know we got, Dupaty Park. I didn't know if there was I didn't recall if there was landscaping around the sign that could be redone and just, spruced up for springtime. So that's why we would need you all to come up with some suggestions, and then we could look at our staff and personnel, see how many we have, and make sure everybody would report to designated areas. Just a thought, because in the past, the students have volunteered. And if they leave testing, they won't be able to. That's just food for thought, so.
When you need a report back from us,
Maybe before the next meeting. So,
before the next meeting.
yeah, before,
Okay.
the 27th. Well, just say the first meeting in March to put it on the agenda.
You have to let the state know what our plan is?
Yeah, I have to,
Okay.
like pick a date, register.
Right.
So what's your deadline date? What's your deadline date?
Just say the beginning, whatever, the first,
First meeting in March.
March. Request approval and authorize the president to sign the title opinion contract for Shell Beach Properties.
Can you get a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Diaz, second by Mr. Mathern.
Yes.
All in favor?
Okay, do we want to address the first thing she talked
Yeah.
about though, before we move on? Make sure they address that. The Shell Beach shortfall.
I'd like to follow up with it. It is the first I'm hearing of this, and if, we hadn't signed a CEA with CPRA yet. It is possible that we can get some more money from them to make that match. So I want to go over that with you to see exactly what more we need from them.
And
Because I know when we
thought they were gonna
requested,
fund the whole thing, which is where this shortfall came from, because the CEA says only 150.
okay,
So if we can get more from them, yeah.
right, but I think this might be related to that maintenance percentage that was added in
Mhm.
after. That wasn't originally included in the ask to CPRA, so I think we need to get some clarification on that. There's a certain percentage that the parish has to add to the match to meet a maintenance requirement. That wasn't original to the application to capital outlay whenever we did it. So I want to make sure that we understand why there's a difference there, and
Okay,
if
so,
we need to request additional money
action
from
now.
CPRA, we certainly can.
okay, so no action then.
We'll follow up on it at our next meeting. Okay, back to you. Ms. Croce.
Request approval to apply for a LAGAP grant for 2 3/4 ton trucks, one for road and bridge, one for litter abatement, and one utility box trailer, for federal programs.
Do you have a figure for all of that?
No, it's 100,000, the grant maximum is 100,000. But I don't have any pricing on these items.
Okay.
Okay.
We're gonna need that.
We're gonna need that.
I mean, the trucks could be 40,000 apiece, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
the
if
price,
we're short.
They got a price of the trailer. For like $14,000 for the.
Yeah, it's 14,000 for
Grant
the trailer.
application, when's that grant application due?
February 29th.
What is this box trailer?
That's for
That is a
commodities.
trailer for
Once
commodities.
they use the printed bodies, that one we got at 18 years old, it's a cargo trailer, double axle.
So what I did was I got pricing both ways, Jamie, because they're all hauling some products that require cooling. So the one trailer would have been like $11,000, and the upgraded trailer's around 13,500 to 14,000 with an air conditioner on top of it, completely wired. And then we facilitate a generator to power it up during deliveries. We had extreme heat last year, and I know,
Some cost estimate?
yes, I do, but I don't
We Under
have,
100 or we not?
we're gonna be over 100 with the 2 trucks and the trailer, but that's when I spoke to you possibly if we need to come up with some additional funding.
I know, but that's why we need to know the numbers.
Okay. I know they were 45,000 or something, but that was not for a four-wheel drive because they don't have four-wheel drives on state bid contract. Only, two-wheel drives.
Do we have to go out for bid for
We'd
that?
have to go out for bid for a four-wheel drive truck.
So the reality of it is, we might not have enough room or
No,
money
you
to
still
buy a
want-
trailer.
you want one truck and
One truck
trailer.
and a trailer.
One truck and one
One
trailer
trailer.
possibly,
The trailer-
without some additional.
There's a
equipment.
need for the trailer. We can give up one
Yeah,
truck for that
definitely.
trailer. They also put the needs out. There's a need for that trailer.
How much is a new, jetter machine, culvert cleaner? The big one.
That last one was like right at 40, I think. That was about 4 years old.
We only have one.
We only have one.
Ms. Kim.
So if we're looking at cutting one of the vehicles,
Yeah, but we need.
what department needs the vehicle more, the road and bridge or litter abatement?
Little abatement.
Little abatement would be the more.
We're trying to start back a little abatement program. We need a truck. I've got with the sheriff, said we can start using trustees, so we just need a truck.
And litter abatements funding is more tight than road and bridge, because they're funded through 1%.
What about the trailer for litter abatement? Is it
It's
Current-
operational.
It's operational
Yeah.
currently at the moment, but we do need to replace it. The axles have been, and a couple other things are going on.
So do we just replace the axles?
No, she needs a new trailer.
No, he's talking about our little abatement.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, little abatement, no, sorry. That trailer can be functional. All we have to do is get the tires going and do a little maintenance to it and we'll be
It's the
fine.
commodity trailer that needs to be replaced.
Yeah.
Priority.
So if we're gonna apply for 100,000 capital outlay,
no, look at?
No, no,
like,
yeah.
I'm sorry,
So what you thinking, 55,000 for the truck?
Yeah, probably more close to 55,000. I know that on the state bid contract on the two-wheel drive vehicle was like
So
46,000.
that's with the trailer,
68,000.
that's like 68,000.
Yeah, so I say we still look at getting a second truck for road and bridge and just let
On the difference.
the fund from road and bridge make up any overage.
And we had conversations about that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, but this is, they have to approve. it.
Understand?
Still need a hard number though. We can get it closer.
We're gonna have to put it out for bid. I'm gonna have to create the package and send it out for bid because it's done on state bid and the forward drive.
I get a motion to approve the application for Legap for 2 3/4 ton trucks and 1 utility box trailer.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Diaz, second by Mr. Mathern.
And just add the overage to be funded.
Yeah. Correct. Any overage will be funded through road and bridge. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
Rihanna, make sure you send out support letters to all our state delegations for the help.
Request approval to apply for Clean Water Enrichment Fund grant for the rehabilitation of Assumption Parish Water Rates District 1 elevated storage tanks.
Who made that motion? Y'all remember? Who made the motion on the trucks?
Oh,
Mike,
yes, Mike.
Right there, I second.
Second by Mathern.
Okay.
Is that a request that came from the waterworks?
BJ, yeah,
to-
BJ, Francis.
They got a motion to approve that application? Motion by Mr. Diaz, second by Mr. Mathern. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. You want to cover the next one? Is there?
Request approval for president to sign DEQ permits for water sector.
Just explain it to them.
We,
Ocean floor.
That water sector is this the sewer
The
the
sewer.
sewer,
the
yes,
sewer
we have to
project.
give DEQ
permits. for that,
permits
it's
for
required.
each location.
That's it.
Motion by Mr. Mathern,
Second.
second by Mr. Bro. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
Request approval of a resolution for president to enter into an agreement with OCD for Louisiana Watershed Initiative Round 2.
Is this for the application of, or the?
No, this is for the award
The
that was
award?
given for St. Vincent outfall.
Okay.
Once we enter into this agreement, then we'll move forward with the H&H study to verify the project. Motion by Mr. Diaz,
Second.
second by Mr. Mathern. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
Request approval to apply for the Safe Routes to Public Places program. This application is also due on February 29th.
So, Ms. Crochet and I participated, with, the Ag Center and, the Department of Transportation, for this project. They invited us to participate on a call in our region, and, I spoke to the sheriff, and one of the issues that we had was the crossings to get to the high school. He said that he exhausted the sources that he was trying to go after to get the funding for those crossings. So I told him that I would ask the jury to apply for the crossing on the LA1 side, to redo the crossing, to have a pedestrian activated flashing light. There are two options there. One is just the light that's on top of the pole that has the pedestrian crossing. The other is to have an actual traffic signal which stops the traffic for the crossing. All right, so in the application, those two options have known quantities for engineering estimates. It's 11,000 versus 110,000. The cap on the project is 500,000 for the application. The sheriff suggested that we go for the traffic signal. Only issue I have with that, if the state rejects it because they don't currently have a traffic signal at that location, then we may lose the project completely. We had a student that was in an accident there earlier this school year. The lines are completely going on the road. I know we need to do something there. If there's any other areas that we need a crossing or something like that we can include, let us know. This is 100% grant. There is no match from the parish. And some of the requirements they would, in the screening, what they look at is the traffic on the area. One thing she specifically mentioned was if it's a sugarcane route, which LA1 is, a lot of sugarcane on it.
Well,
One of the-
same thing at 662 and 398 in the store, and there's accidents right there all the time. We've got those lights down at the school, but it's been a lot of talk about trying to get one right there.
You talking about a traffic light or
No, just
a pedestrian crossing?
Yeah, or just a caution light, just something to slow traffic down, just kind of like at the school. The school doesn't have a pedestrian crossing, they just have, speed limit goes down to 35, I believe, at the school.
So the sheriff asked if we're gonna apply on the LA1 side, he would also like us to apply on the 308 side, because he said most school districts are eliminating the crossing guard
Yeah.
by having the lighted signals for
That's what we-
for the crossings. So it's just that's a suggestion. I know we don't have much time to get the application in, but the estimate's already included in the price list from DOTD. So I think it'd be a relatively simple application for our grants coordinator to put in for. So that, if we have any other locations that y'all would like us to consider to put them in there, we can.
Can we do, 3 of them?
Sure, I don't have a problem.
Yeah,
We can apply, so
1 through 8 and,
and 662,
662 and 398.
I know, Jamie, there was some interest in, I don't know if they pursued it, but they did the recreational trail stuff on the backside of Lee Drive for Veterans Park, and they talked about caution lights and the pedestrian crossing.
so that's already included in that project.
Okay.
All right, y'all have a lot of kids that are parents that walk their kids to school back there too.
No, we've already got the caution light at the school. It's mostly bus and pickup. And the school's in subdivision, so the ones that walk don't have to cross any highway. But we did do away with the crossing guard and went to just a caution light. But,
You know what I'm saying? I mean, long as probably a whole bunch of us can remember, and it still is happening today. There's a lot of children, especially within this Napoleonville area, that walks every day. They're not going to the high school or to the middle school, they walk. And I think that's something definitely needed, so I'm all on favor for both.
I would like to add Pierre Park School to that as well, because sometimes we don't have the crossing guard. And the parents have to walk their kids across the road as well.
Okay, so we have 4 locations that will, submit an application, and I hope it's not an all or nothing. If they see that one or more is more feasible than the other, that they're awarded. But are y'all okay for applying for the lower amount that's just the pole on the side activated with the striping on the road?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
That'd be
Can I
better.
get a motion to make that application? Motion by Mr. Diaz, second by Mr. Bro. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. All right, that completes,
I got one question for the grant coordinator. What is the status on purchasing of the land for the, sewer project on Virginia?
I haven't heard anything. I'll follow up tomorrow.
But do you know where it's at? Like, who we waiting on? Is it on something Infinity's doing, or is it a funding?
I'm not sure. I'll check on it.
Okay, I'll have to check.
Proper outlay, Retta, Platteville drainage, where are we?
Was that
Platteville drainage, where are we with that?
everything still?
Waiting on documents.
Yeah.
Come on.
From, we're waiting on the go, we're waiting on, I mean, what
From
we,
them. We've turned in everything that we have. Remember, they said anywhere from 6 to 12 weeks.
anything further for the grants coordinator? All right. Item 3, discuss daily engineering operations.
I put this on here, just speaking with Paul now over the last couple of weeks. We just need to give him some guidance. If he needs engineer, what's his process?
Right, so I spoke to him, earlier today about it, and I think in the meantime, so I sent everyone a sample of what St. Tammany Parish does, you know, so we can pursue that avenue of going out for RFQs to entertain any engineers that want to be able to do work in the parish, but I think in the meantime, it'd be handled like any other contract according to the procurement laws of the state, right? So he can get a proposal from an engineer to give us a cost estimate to provide whatever he needs. So I think right now, the immediate need is a cost estimate for, Elise Court. So if you know, I think that's, I mean, it's a normal procurement procedure.
Yeah, so I called Joseph this afternoon again, for cost estimate on the lease code, what it costs to get the blacktop, till you have to get it.
Okay, did you make contact with him today?
I've tried 3 times and he didn't answer my call.
Then you send it to them, you have to get it.
What if we would just get a contractor to going forward? Why would you need an engineer on the lease court?
I think for the quantity amount and to, give an estimate because of the base of what would be required for the subsoil base, if there's any other requirements.
Again, I'm back, I'll call him back after the meeting, I'll get back on tomorrow morning.
Yeah, but let
Let him do it.
Paul handle it.
Okay.
I think he'll, I mean, the request should come through him for the road project.
Try again in the morning.
So with respect to moving forward, do we want to finalize this RFQ maybe for the next meeting and go out, or you want to approve what we sent out, just adopt it for Assumption Parish? How do y'all want to, would y'all rather see it before we advertise?
yeah, I
Or-
think we all need to see it. I did have an opportunity to read it. I do agree with, I did read his email for just the services that we will need. Hope, on a daily basis to represent the parish from an engineering standpoint. But we need to contextualize something and put it in a format, tailor it to what will fit Assumption Parish, and we go from there. So yes, that's not rushing to it.
Yeah.
Let's get what we need. Let's put it on paper. Let's review it all together as one.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll have that for the next meeting. Any other items on that? The Diaz? All right, request approval to complete RFQ for grant management services.
Yeah, I asked that this be put on the agenda. We had a couple of Zoom meetings with the Louisiana Office of Community Development, as it pertains to the Resilient Communities Infrastructure Grant and the Hometown Revitalization Program Grant. That office, and Leroy, correct me if I'm wrong, because you were on those calls, that office strongly asked, or strongly recommended that we have a third party, work with us or work between them and us to administer that grant. And in talking with the president, only thing I'm asking is to put together a quote, make it kind of open-ended, where it's not just those two particular grants that could be utilized in the future. I've talked with St. James to see if I get some verbiage out of them. St. James said St. John Parish also just did something similar to that.
So I know South Central Planning had reached out to us to provide their grants, administration services to us. But these funds are funneled through OCD, that's federal money that's coming to us, which requires us to go out for RFQ. So whenever I spoke to Mr. Long about it, I think our best route would be for us to send out an RFQ on a general basis, not for a specific grant.
Right.
That way, whatever firm comes in and, you know, is successful, then we can use them to manage any of our grants. And then,
And we're not
our grants
asking
coordinator could also use them on grants that are, you know, I guess, putting the stress on her office, you know, and if South Central Planning is it, that's fine. If there's another firm that comes in, then we have to consider them.
And the only thing we're asking is to put together a request for quote. That's all we're asking. And once the quotes come,
RFQ is different from request for quotes,
request, what does RFQ stand for?
qualifications. So there's no
Qualification.
money is
Right.
involved with that.
Right, we're not asking to commit any funds. We're just asking to put out a bid.
I know, but you just keep saying for quote, for cost. That's not what you're gonna receive. You're gonna
No.
receive qualifications and then they have to be
But
stored.
we're asking to go forward with a bid. Not, once the bids come in, we'll get with you on the awarding of the bid.
And just for a point of information on the project that we had the conference call with OCD, there is a percentage of the grant that was awarded specific for grant administration.
Yeah, most of these grants have an administrative percentage that would go to it. That doesn't come off of that grant itself.
Just remember, it's federal funds, so there's specific requirements. So you're gonna have to get into the personnel manual to follow that guidance.
Right. I understand that.
I think we were there, I think we, I don't know, we did a RFQ for something, it was a while back, there was some talk of where we could have got a pool of engineers as pertains to dealing with federal monies. I thought we was there, but I think there was some talks about, no, we gotta have we gotta go out for RFQ for this specific project, and then, but it was all tailored to dealing with federal funds, and we kicked it out the window. Now we're going back as we get dealing with more and more federal funds, with more and more projects, and we're going back. We're going back when I think we were there.
I think the
We didn't see,
staffing,
we didn't see the play all the way through.
right, I think the state doesn't have the staffing to administer it, and realistically, the parish doesn't
Understood.
either.
Understood, but I think we were there where we, you know, where we could have had a pool of engineers as it tailored to dealing with federal dollars and federal grants for federal projects. And we just kicked it back and said, no, we're gonna identify, we're gonna do an RFQ for this project that's tailored to this one, and this one, and this one. And now we're going back, I thought we, you know, that's just my opinion on it.
But there's still, when it's federal money, it's totally different. So we still on a fence about this pool of engineering and whether that is gonna be qualified to meet the federal criteria. There's a difference between having engineers on standby or this process that we're considering for everyday needs here. But when you start spending federal money, it could be a whole nother set of rules. So we might not be able to use that basis because we got to look at that RFQ process and make sure that all the federal guidelines have been met. If they're not, it's different. And that could be what you're talking about, because the Go Mesa, when we talked about it with Go Mesa, it was very different because you had to identify the same scope of project and go out for those services. Remember, we thought we could do it generically?
Yeah.
And they said, no, you have to be consistent on what type of service you're looking.
And there again, this is just a grant administration, you know.
So what y'all wanna do?
Get a motion to approve to go off RFQ for grant management services?
Motion. Second.
Motion by Mr. Diaz, seconded by Mr. Bro. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Request approval to send letter to DOTD requesting the resurfacing of LA 1010 from LA 1011 to Hard Time Road.
It's, the worst section is, backed by, 1011 to Horton Road. It's about 3.3 miles, and it's terrible. And this would be a perfect road from 398 to LA1. That's 1010. And it's the worst spot on it, and it's terrible. You break your axe on it.
Okay. Forgive my stupidity, but you said 10, this says 1010 to 1011, and then you
No,
said
no.
1011, and then you said 398, so
I
I,
said 1011 from 1011. That's a Supreme Road to Horton Road.
okay, and then
That's
three,
in the big right angle curve in this road going out LA1. And that's the worst section. It's about 3.3 miles.
and then you said 398 to
398,
1011.
that would make it perfect from 398. That's where it's
Okay,
going.
okay, so that's not something we would.
This is just a section that needs to be.
Okay.
That's the 1011.
Just want to make sure the letter's correct.
And I have an item in the regular meeting to
I saw
talk
it,
about
too.
other roads in the parish. But Mr. Knocking actually called me and asked me to add 1010 to the list for the regular meeting, so.
That's all.
Well, let's, we have a motion by Mr. Bro to send a letter to DOTD requesting the resurfacing of LA 1010, LA 1011 to Horton Road. Second by Mr. Mathern. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Request approval of manufactured home park rental property at 103, 105, and 107 Teddy Street in Bell River, Ward 9.
So this should say preliminary approval. I forgot that word. He just, I have a site plan that was submitted by the constituent. And, everything's good to go as far as the mobile home park. He is wanting to add a house to the top of the road, at the corner of Teddy and 70, and possible 2 mobile homes, one for sure. He put the third one in there in case he decides to add it later. Everything checks out with the site plan as far as mobile home ordinance.
What about
Question?
motion floor?
The mobile homes are on site now. One of them.
No,
One of them.
one minute. Motion's not there yet.
I don't think the constituent was aware of the mobile home ordinance you have to do when you put more than one structure, more than one structure on a piece of property and find to rent it. But we're trying to fix it. He's good with paying the $500 for the mobile home. Try to come pay it today. Don't wait till it's approved.
Have a motion for preliminary approval by Mr. Mathern. Need a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Bro. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Request approval to send a letter to DOTD for the request of a bridge replacement in Bell River, Ward 9.
Yeah, I put that on the agenda. I think it's time for the state to look at, do some of the Bell River Bridge as far as upgrading to something different for the boat traffic we have and the boys and all that, meaning, and in that stage. I think it's time for Bell River Bridge to be upgraded to something different.
All right, got a motion by Mr. Mathern to send a letter to DOTD for the Bell River Bridge. Need a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Bro. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Update on Ag Center roof project.
Nothing to report at this time on that.
Update on the Tacopah Landing project. All right, I guess I'll give a brief update. We're currently waiting on a response from the contractor to let us know if he will elect to perform the construction for the repair of the pile cap around on the bulkhead. Our third-party engineer provided a design to us. He got an estimate from some contractors, so we have a cost there. We're gonna see if the contractor wants to, the on-site contractor wants to do it. So we're just waiting to hear back from him if he'll do the project for that amount. Once we hear back from them, then we can make a decision on how we move forward.
So we gotta cure the cost?
Yeah, so at this time, both the engineer and the contractor have, refused liability, I guess we could say, for the issue that's out there. They're both blaming each other, so we're gonna, that's why we have the third-party engineer involved, and we're gonna do what we have to do as a parish to mitigate our damages moving forward. So we just have to see if the contractor is gonna accept the offer that we're giving them, or if we're gonna have to go out to another contractor.
So Mike, what the cost looking at? The cost to do it?
Do we really want to say that?
Oh, okay, well, leave it alone then.
Just,
We're
you gonna-
we're gonna bring the cost before the jury once we have
Yeah.
an answer from the attorney.
A final answer.
where the funding source?
We're, we don't have it identified yet. We're,
Pause.
we're waiting on an answer back from our attorney to advise us what direction we need to go.
Bathrooms are waiting on a
Well, we
document.
did get a partial certificate of completion for the bathrooms, but we're still waiting on some from Joseph's office for the fire marshal, because there was a change that are from the original application. And he has to get that from fire marshal, and then we can open the bathroom. So we're waiting on that from him.
Cameras, they put another camera up yet?
No, only 2 cameras installed, but the system isn't in. The cameras are there, but there's no system yet.
Update on courthouse renovation project?
So today we did have the architects on site. They were scanning the building, top and bottom, and they'll report back to me once all the findings come through, to let us know where we at.
Update on Joel Lamar Street drainage project? Mr. Leskey, you want to?
So we received the plans, today. We received plans last Friday, and now, some sheets were missing. We received the full set today. We have prepared our fee proposal for resident project rep and construction admin bidding. Also included in that is the Davis-Bacon compliance, federal regulation compliance. So that was transmitted today. Specs, we've reviewed the specs, and now we're just waiting to get the fee proposal approved, then we can move on to advertising. There's a few questions in there through the plan set. We want to speak with the engineer record on, just to try to cut off some. So just we have some questions prior to the pre-bid of this project.
Brianna, is this the one the cost analysis has to be done?
Okay.
No, no, okay.
So, full set of specs have not been received, but we will, we got some Word docs that we're gonna go through, and that's the preliminary piece that we need. So, and with this, we have to have a meeting with, the engineer record on it. And we want to get a schedule of values, just so we have line items as far as cost of different pipe sizes. Right now, it's one line item is a lump sum, perform this work with these drawings. But if you have additional pieces or parts that come in, you need an extra catch basin, or you need an extra piece of pipe, 15 or 18-inch pipe. We'd like to have a cost associated with a linear footage. So it's just called schedule values that you can request.
So Jacob, you didn't receive any drawings yet?
Yes, we received the full set today.
Okay.
So we did receive some drawings. We got the rest of them full set today.
And when are you're gonna be scheduling a meeting with
Yes.
with the engineer to review?
Yes. We'll go through them, and we'll be working with Brian, with Parish in order to set it.
Do you think we'll have an idea when we go out for bid by next meeting?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Any other questions on that one, Chris? Update on Bertrandville Drainage Canal Project?
You didn't get no drawings on that one yet, huh? I'll take care of that.
Update on Jarrett Street Levy Project? I did speak to Mr. Savoy last week, and he told me that he did meet the Corps out there, to review the, boundaries of that project, but that was the only information that I had from him.
that.
All right, update on ring levies in Pierreport Bell River.
Haven't heard anything.
Update on Lee Drive project and request core sample results from CJ Savoy.
Haven't heard anything.
Update on Shell Beach boat landing.
Or
So we'll follow up with
Yeah.
the funding to make sure that we
everything is.
get the funding we need from CPRA for the match for the capital outlay project.
Yep. That's it.
Need a motion to adjourn? Motion by Mr. Diaz.
Before we close out, can we get an update, maybe from Ron, Road and Bridge, overlay?
Okay, I'll provide something for you at the next meeting.
All right, have a motion to adjourn by Mr. Diaz. Second by Mr. Bro. All in favor? Opposed? Meeting adjourned. Call to order our regular meeting of the Assumption Parish Police Jury. Let the record reflect all jurors are present except for Mr. Nakam. This time I'll lead us in prayer and I'll ask our Biddy basketball team if y'all can come forward. Biddy basketball all-stars, y'all please step forward. Everybody. After the prayer, I'd like y'all to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. God, who teaches us by sending the light of the Holy Spirit into our hearts, grant that by the light of that Spirit, right judgment may be ours, and that we may ever find joy in his guidance. Amen.
Amen.
Lead us in the prayer, in the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Request approval of minutes of January 10th, 2024 and January 24th, 2024. Motion by Mr. Carter, second by Mr. Bro. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Public comment period. This time we'll have public comment for any item on the agenda. Second call. Last call. Let the record reflect there was no public comment. Drainage Committee report, Chairman Ponville.
Yes, sir. The Drainage Committee meeting was held this afternoon at 4 o'clock. All members were present besides Mr. Blanchard and Mr. Bro. Item number 1, we approved to ratify the previous term to 4 years versus 2 years for Priscilla Mobile and Gerald Crochet to the Piedmont Bell River Consolidated Drainage District. We approved the culvert replacement at 259 Cindy Street. We discussed the labor costs for our culvert replacement at 140 Pond Drive. And we approved that. We discussed and identified the funding source for the electric motor for Ward 4, and that's gonna be taken from his drainage fund. Yes, ma'am. Number 4. It went with number 3.
5.
4 and 5.
We approved to sweep the outfalls Ward 4. Number 7, we discussed the funding source for the damages to the rental equipment of $5,500, and that's gonna be coming out of the Go Mesa funding. We approved the culvert replacement at 114 Phillips Street. We discussed the funding source for the electric motor replacement at Davis North Bay Road. And that's gonna be coming out of Ward 8 Drainage Fund. Also, parish labor of $1,100, that's also gonna come out of Ward 8 Drainage Fund. We got an update from the parish manager on the projects and estimated time of completion of projects. We discussed drainage issues on Dino Street, Ward 9. We discussed the possible replacement of engines at parish-wide drainage pump stations that require propane as a fuel source. And Mr. Blankenship is gonna get back with us on that. Also, we discussed to purchase a 320 class excavator, and we're gonna get an update at the next meeting of that. And we had one deviation to continue to rent on Verter Street at a cost of $3,000, and I'll present this all in form of a motion, sir.
One question for you, item 7. What was that cost for the damage to the rental equipment?
$5,500. It's gonna be, Brian had an offset on that, so it'd be $5,500 coming out of
Under
Go
budget.
Okay. Just wanna make sure. All right, motion by Mr. Pineville. Second by Mr. Diaz. All in favor? Opposed? Committee report accepted. Finance Committee met at 4:40. All members were present except for Mr. Nakam. We approved to pay the list of bills submitted through February 9th, 2024. We approved for the president to sign the CEA with Louisiana Department of Veterans Affairs for the 2024 year in the amount of $14,534. We approved entering into a contract with Jackson Parish Sheriff's Office for the reserving of 2 beds for juvenile housing. And we authorized allowing first responders to apply for the $2,500 exemption of property tax under Act number 179.
Motion to accept as read.
Motion by Mr. Pondville, second by Mr. Alcorn, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Personnel Committee report, Chairman Diaz.
Personnel Committee met at 4:50. All members are present except Mr. Nakane. First item, we approve the reversal of the appointment of Carol T. Oakland to replace T.J. Blanchard on the Library Board of Controls. We approve the resignation of Ira Patero Jr. to the Bylaws Recreational District #1 Board of Directors. We approve to appoint Michael Terrio to the Bylaws Recreation District #1 Board of Directors. We also approve the amendments to the personnel manual as presented. Was this in the form of a motion?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Diaz, second by Mr. Carter, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Engineering Grants Committee report, Engineering Grants Committee met at 5 p.m. We got an update from GIS regarding project status and funding sources. We approved a motion to request CPRA include the Amelia Levy project that is in the master plan in their current annual plan. We got an update from the grants coordinator. And in that update, we approved to authorize the president to sign for the title opinion contract for Shell Beach Properties. We approved the application for the GAP grant for 2 3/4 ton trucks and 1 utility box trailer with the overage anticipated for one of the trucks to come out of the Road and Bridge Fund. We approved to apply for the Clean Water Enrichment Fund grant for the rehabilitation of Assumption Parish Waterworks District 1 elevated storage tower as requested by the Waterworks. We approved the president to sign DEQ permits for the water sector project, which is the sewer plant upgrades. We approved a resolution for the president to enter into an agreement with OCD for Louisiana Watershed Initiative Round 2. We approved to apply for the Safe Routes to Public Places program. There'd be 2 crossings, both affiliated with Assumption High School, and a 3rd crossing in the Bayou Lewis community at the intersection of 398 and Highway 662.
And Pierpont also.
I'm sorry, yes, and at Highway 70 at Pierpont Elementary School. Item 3, we discussed the daily engineering operations. And we will prepare an RFQ for the jury to review prior to submitting for our next meeting. We approved going out for RFQ for grant management services. We approved to send a letter to DOT requesting the resurfacing of LA Highway 1010 from LA Highway 1011 to Hard Time Road. We approved the preliminary layout for the manufactured home park rental property on Teddy Street in Bell River. We approved sending a letter to DOTD to request that they consider a bridge replacement in Bell River to allow for more water traffic. We had no action, no update on the Ag Center roof project. We received an update on the Tacapult Landing project. We received an update on the courthouse renovation project. We received an update on Joelmore Street drainage project. There was no update for Bertrandville Drainage Canal project. We had no update on Gerald Street levee project. We had no update on ring levees in Pierpont Bell River area. We had no update on the Lee Drive project and the requesting of core samples from CJ Savoy. And on Shell Beach boat landing, we did speak about getting additional funding to cover the matching shortfall from the capital outlay project.
And on that Bell River Bridge, we can add as a secondary as for drainage, that barge does slow the water down coming down the river. Sometimes they have to open for hours and hours, let that water go through quicker. And that'd be another drainage project they can look at for protecting the Plaquemine area.
Okay, we'll include that in the letter. Can I get a motion to accept this report?
Motion to accept.
Motion by Mr. Pineville, second by Mr. Bro. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. All right, at this time, what we'll do is we'll move item 15 up so that we can recognize the Assumption Parish Biddy Basketball All-Star teams.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chair, I put this on the agenda. First and foremost, this is our second year of, being able to put this program on from a parish stand-wide position. If it had not been for this jury and this board, we would not be where we are today. And because in our second year, we've been able to grow and take it to another level. The program has been running successfully in its second year, and now we've added, something a little bit more to it. With further ado, I'll go ahead and ask our lead coordinator, Mr. Will Carter, to come up and say a few words, and also introduce our 9 and 10-year-old and 11 and 12-year-old all-star team that will represent this Assumption Parish. These are kids from all parts of the parish. So, blessed that we have there, and I'll let you carry on, sir.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the Assumption Parish Biddy Basketball Program, we would like to thank you all for allowing us to be here with you guys today. Most importantly, we want to thank you guys for the generous donation that you guys put forward to start this program. This donation that you have given us was the start to something special. Not only just for the kids that's here today, but for all the kids that participate in the program for the 2 or 3 month period of Biddy basketball play. It's something that the kids in the parish actually look up to doing again every Saturday. And we enjoy it, and we really, truly, have a good time. So that being said, on behalf of all of us, we would like to thank all of you, because if it wasn't for you, this would not have been possible. So thank you. Just piggyback on what Mr. Ron has said, the program has been running for our second year. This year, we had the opportunity to host a credential invitational tournament for Biddy basketball. And it's a big deal because in order to get to a regional tournament, you have to go through a credential tournament. There are only 2 credential tournaments that are held, and we were blessed to actually be one of the programs to receive that tournament. So it's a big tournament, it's a big deal, and we're working diligently to make sure that that is run as smoothly as possible. We have parishes from across the Louisiana that are participating: Pearl River, Vermilion, Central Lafourche, South Lafourche, St. James, Patterson, Raceland. They're coming from a multitude of places. And so with our beautiful facility, we have the means to accommodate them and put on such tournament, and also show them that Assumption is here. We have the means, we have the kids, we have the people, we have this parish that can do great things just as well as every other parish out there that's doing those things as well. And because of that donation, we are able to get to that level. It has not been easy, but with the help of everyone around us that are helping, volunteering, parents, high school kids, we're able to excel, and we look to continue to excel it. This program, we do not look for just personal growth within our program, but also on the level of always looking out for the kids. Because of that, we have reached out to the high school and to our neighboring school, Napoleonville Middle School, and we will allow them to have some games at their facilities and let their programs be in charge of concessions, so that way they can actually have a benefit to their programs as well. So we want to work with everyone around us. We want to build with everyone around us, because without everyone around us, the program would not be successful. So without further ado, I want to thank the coaches, the parents, and all the players for their hard work. Without them, it wouldn't be possible. It would not be possible, especially for those who volunteer a lot. So at this time, I would like to recognize the 9 and 10-year-old team. Please stand. 9 and 10-year-old All-Stars. Our 9 and 10-year-old All-Star coaches is Coach Roland Moore, and he's a familiar face. He's a coaching legend here in the parish. He's been with Assumption High School for many years, and he is now currently at Ladderville Middle School. And he has actually won
parish and tournament champs this year, so congratulations to all. The other coaches, were not able, wasn't able to attend tonight, but Coach Moore is here to represent them all. At this time, 11 and 12, please stand. And we have Coach Ray Thomas, in the back, who is the head coach for 11 and 12-year-olds. And then we have, Coach Blaine, y'all please stand. Coach Blaine Pellegrin as well. And I must say that these guys have worked hard all season long. Some of our coaches, they literally coach multiple teams within the league. They take time out with the players, and, you know, they show the love and compassion that we really want our program to forecast. And so without them, I wouldn't be able to stand here today and say that our program is successful. So thank you to all of you. We also have one person I would like to recognize, Mr. Kenny. Mr. Kenny has been the backbone of our program in many, many ways. And I would have to give, you know, I like to give recognition when recognition is due. And this guy has went above and beyond for us, not just this year, but last year. And so thank you, Mr. Kenny, for your volunteer hours and your hard work, for keeping us together. You keep me in line. So with that being said, again, I would like to thank all of you for your donations that started this special program. We look forward to move to higher levels in the future, to grow even bigger, and we will strive because we are all in this together. So again, thank you. We appreciate you. Thanks.
Yeah, real quick, Mr. Carter. Yes, this is 9 and 10-year-old boys, but we have some talented young ladies that has joined the force. And so hopefully next year we can have some more young ladies participate, and hopefully we can have a girls also.
Yeah, so we're working on that. Ms. DeLacia, please stand, DeLacia. So we was going through the roster, and they were, you know, the coaches picked the all-star team. So I had nothing to do with it. The coaches kind of pick off of each other's team, as opposed to them picking their own players. The coaches from other teams will pick the other players to kind of keep it fair. And so at first, I thought that the girls and the boys played separately because I know that they have a girls league and a boys league. But when I talked to Ms. Laura, she said, well, no, if you don't have a girls league in your parish, then you can put them together. So the first thing I did was I said, hey, who's that girl that plays on the court? Because she is good. You know? So I made it a point to make sure that she was on this team. And not only is she good, she's humble, she's a great kid. And I think, you know, she's probably going to start off our girls league next year. I believe so. So thank you, DeLacia.
As we close out, as Mr. Carter has stated, if y'all have some time this weekend, I would love for y'all to either come by the community center Saturday or Sunday and show your face. Again, just like Mr. Carter said, they're coming all the way from Opelousas, Pavilion, Pearl River, surrounding areas. It's gonna be big, and y'all can come out and show y'all face and see how we're gonna showcase the little bit we have. Again, before we close, thank you to all our mothers. Happy Valentine's Day to you ladies. And so we can move on, I'd like for all the kids to come around here and we'll take a full picture with the jury.
Okay.
Come on.
And as they come up, I'd like to say on behalf of the jury, you know, thank you to the coaches. You know, I know it takes a lot of volunteers to put this organization on. The team building that that the youth is gaining is valuable in their development. And without this program, that would be a void that would not be filled. So thank you to all the coaches and parents for allowing your kids to participate in this program.
Come on, Gerard.
We can smell my hair, Bill.
Y'all good? Y'all good down there? You good? Slide down a little bit. Put your hand down. Put your hand on your face.
Everybody smile.
Congratulations.
We gotta go win. We gotta go win this weekend. We ain't got time to play. We gotta go win.
Gotta get that bid of world title.
That's right. Gotta go win.
We played in Puerto Rico.
Next item on our agenda is the introduction of a new ordinance to create solar panel development regulations and call for a public hearing.
Yes, so this is something we've had in the works for a while, probably a little bit over a year. We've had a moratorium on it. I've sent you guys this proposed ordinance many times and y'all reviewed it. So now I'm just trying to get it adopted. We have some interest from constituents and, we need a public hearing to start.
A public hearing will be prior to our second meeting in February.
So it would be at the meeting and then we would adopt it if there's no opposition on y'all.
Is the ordinance good as presented?
All right, I'll entertain a motion to have a public hearing.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Bro, second by Mr. Mathern, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Item 10 will be tabled. Item 11, update on rural studies plan of Assumption Parish Community Center usage and infrastructure piggybacking and consider execution of rental agreement.
Good evening.
Terrio, welcome back.
Hello, how are y'all? Happy Valentine's. Okay, so as we visited you last was when we came in to make the request to be able to use the community center. Y'all recall that. The agreement and the plan, I think, should have been probably included in the packet. In your packet.
Not your revised one, but just that
Okay.
one statement.
Which was just a language
Yes.
issue. So, basically, I'm here tonight to request the final approval to be able to house the mobile exam unit on the property of the community center. And if you look in your packet, it's a very detailed plan of where, the space that would be utilized and also the piggybacking on the existing infrastructure that the community center has already. So, I hope that I can answer any questions you have on that, and if I can't, I can surely report them and get an answer as quick as possible, but what we're planning on doing, the MEU, the unit, last days in Batesville, Mississippi at the very end of February. So the plan is for the MEU to be moving in to its site during the first week of March, starting operations in the second week of March. Is there anything in this proposed plan that you have any concerns, questions? Want to talk about?
The only item, and it's actually not in here, it's more just from an operational standpoint. I spoke to Mr. Blankenship. We do have a backup generator at the community center, but the generator wouldn't be sized enough to operate the center and the MEU.
And I don't think
So-
that would be a necessity. I don't
Right,
think
so
that
in the
would-
event of a power outage, they
Right.
would basically not be able to
And,
operate.
so this is a little bit more information than we had last time. They are planning to operate on a 7-and-7 basis because the staff is coming from so far away. That turnaround for like a 2-day weekend would not be, conducive to their wanting to travel to here. So it'll operate a week at a time. I would like to also get with Maria to make sure that we don't interfere with any planned events where parking would be an issue, but I really think that where we're planning to be would not really interfere with that. I do, if, tonight we get this approval to go ahead and move forward, I've been I asked to request to get into that electrical unit panel to get some more pictures and maybe like get on a FaceTime or Zoom with the California. So if they have any questions like that about piggybacking into that system. But he did say that the way that it is built and installed, it has that capacity to be able to do that, which he said he has seen a lot in buildings that were built under FEMA standards. So anyway, letters are going out. I don't know if anybody in this room received a letter from the rural study, but they look like this. And it's basically an invitation to your family to participate in the study. I did talk to someone that's doing the scheduling today, and he was ecstatic about the response he's got in Assumption Parish so far. They've booked up the first week already in appointments. And so we also want to schedule a kickoff event, which is real tentative. March 12th is a very softly scheduled date, just because we don't anticipate any issues with the move here. However, we have not solidified that date for a kickoff. So, anybody has any questions about
How
anything?
long they gonna be here for?
Till the 4th of July, that area. And then they're rolling up to Franklin Parish in Winsboro. So they're in Batesville, Mississippi right now. So I also encourage everybody in here to, if you are eligible, to sign up for this study. As some very crucial health tests that can be done for you at no cost. I also brought signs that I would ask all of you jurors to take a sign home, and I brought a few extras for anybody who wants to take it home. Yard signs, just in support. I don't know if you've seen, we've had billboards that have gone up recently. We have some banners to get out right now, but my heavy lifting, hardworking assistant husband is in France for a month. So we have to wait for him to get back because I can't use those tools. So anyway, so we're excited. We want everybody to be excited. We had a very high interest in people who want to be part of it, although the sampling is done randomly. We feel good about it. I want y'all all to sign up to be part of it.
The only problem I got, and we got in the back of the building, ain't no way we could move this on the front side driveway where people can actually see it.
Actually, because of piggyback into the infrastructure that's in place, the best place for it to be is right there, close to where they can kind of plug in. We looked at all the places, because in other areas they've actually dropped power poles. This may be the easiest transition that they've had for this unit at our facility. So it would be some heavy infrastructure construction into,
Move it different places.
We could just put a banner up front.
I know, it just, they had it from where they could see
So
it.
there will
you
be a
know?
banner, and as, like I said, there's more banners going up because like in Bayou Lewis area and Belrose, we haven't got there with the banners yet, but, there'll be signage, there'll be signs, social media. I don't know if you got the paper today, we're on the cover of Bayou Pioneer today with it. While we're encouraging everybody under the umbrella of an eligibility, they've seen a trend where the younger male set they don't see a high response on that, which I would consider all you to be in the younger male set, right? So go ahead, sign up. And if y'all have any questions, y'all know how to get in touch with me. So I guess I'll quit talking to you on ask for yes or no.
Make a motion to approve.
Appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Please don't forget your signs.
I got a motion by Mr. Carter to approve the rental agreement and authorize president to sign. Second by Mr. Bethune. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
I appreciate it. I left some more brochures here. I see you have some already right here, but if any questions come up, give me a call.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank y'all so much.
Aaron, if you don't mind, when you talk to Maria about getting on site to go get your FaceTime video, execute a contract with her, just so we have that
For
the usage, the rental. Just
Oh,
an open.
just like a regular contract, okay?
Yeah.
So am I gonna contact Maria to get access to the panel, or is that gonna be
You
Larry?
can just call me if
Oh,
you need.
Brian.
I'll take care of it all. If Larry's there, we'll make it happen, Aaron.
Yeah, I think we just need like the electric engineer to see some.
Yeah.
Just a matter of, he'll know if Larry's around or not.
Yeah.
I appreciate y'all help so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Request approval of the first phase of a derelict structure procedure for dwelling located at 101 West Avenue in the Poyville community, Ward 5.
Motion, that's somebody, right? It's been like this 5, 6 years.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Diaz, second by Mr. Pondville, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Request approval to adopt ordinance 24-02 to levy grass cutting charges totaling $10,331.58. The list is included in your packet.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Alcorn,
Second.
second by Mr. Mathern. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Update on Pearport Natural Gas.
I'll put that on the agenda, maybe we'll get invited to come to our next meeting to give us an update on what they're doing at the airport.
Okay.
I'll give him a call and set it up.
So just said they will come. We're gonna do something, but that's.
He was getting prepared to come, to this meeting, but he wasn't quite ready, so.
That's fine.
I didn't
And just make sure you know that the next meeting is on Tuesday, not Wednesday. Discuss lack of response for tornado victims, Mr. Brew.
You know, well, we were hit pretty hard in Laverdale. I have pictures here if you'd like to look at them. We couldn't get very much with tarps or anything else, and it seems as though we should have some collection of items available for situations like this. If we can get FEMA to donate it or whatever. But, we should have some because some people lost everything. Their houses were split in half, roofs removed. They were trying to salvage some of their antiques they had from former members of the family. And they wanted a tarp just because the roof was gone. They couldn't find anything. And one lady was 94 years old and she lost her house. With no help. No help at all.
Sure, I know the tarps that we had were from the previous storm event.
Yeah.
Mr.
All
Long,
the tarps that this parish physically had was issued out.
Yeah.
There is no more tarps in that warehouse.
We should try to get some.
We reached out to the other parishes, requested tarps. I reached out to GOSEP, requesting tarps. I haven't got anything as of yet. I have a meeting with the GOSEP director, it's gonna be in my office 10 o'clock Friday. I'm gonna bring that up again. There again, we're asking. I can't demand anything from these people. Just what we declared it as a state of emergency. And in order for us to even receive any type of federal funding, we have a dollar hurdle we have to meet of $96,779.40. Then the state has a hurdle of $4,757,757 in order for it to be considered a federal disaster and get any type of federal money. Now, my office, we sent people from my office out to take photographs in the event that we met any type of hurdles, and we have that in our records. And we also had a people from my office reach out to those individuals and reach out to the Red Cross. And then the next day call back and make sure the Red Cross reach out to them. So realistically, it'd be up to those charity organizations to assist when we can't get any type of federal declaration. I don't know what else we could do other than what we did.
Also too, Mr. Brewer, it's sad to say, but we did have a lot of tarps on hand. This is the second isolated event that has happened in your area. The first one was within a year. The first one was that bad hailstorm that tore up your area.
4 of them at my house. 4.
You know, so tarps went out
And
to your area the last time.
Those tarps were intended
Yeah.
in the event that we had a hurricane, and these stores aren't open to be able to suffice. These stores were open. Now, I understand the area that was affected was a poverty area, and I understand that, and we try to support them as much as we could.
Just like with the canals, you know, we have to dig them out again. Trees are down there. You know,
I mean, that's just the nature of the beast. I mean, I don't know what to do other than what we did.
But in having your discussion on Friday, this is something that I don't think that GOSEP I mean, we look for hurricanes, so we're prepared and try to have the materials we need for that. Isolated event like tornadoes, but hailstorm is something that's unheard of here. So
But there
now it's
again-
time for GOSEP and them to start putting things into place for isolated
They'll
incidents like.
support us if it's a declaration, if the state declares, if they can get their money back from FEMA.
Yeah.
There again, this is meant for when the Ace Hardware isn't open because of a hurricane to be able to suffice. It's not meant for an isolated event where these stores are open. You know, you're taking money out of these people's pockets realistically. I mean, there's no right answer here.
Right. But at the same time, those people still need help. So we still need to try to put our best foot forward, try to go to all ends to try to see what we can do.
I think we
I
put
know.
our best foot forward. We're relying on the other parish to be able to pull from their reserves. You know, I'll bring it up to GOSEP again.
Right, and just to let you know, Mr. Burke, like you said, we did, get names and numbers for everyone that was affected. And they were all contacted to make sure that they had temporary housing, in the day after the tornado.
Right. And Carol followed up the next day.
A lot of them down 10-14 or what? Did y'all get any?
I think we had 9, was it
Nine,
9?
nine, 2 businesses in the fire department is what we received.
No, it was 10-14.
I have to get the names. I can send you those names.
Is 1014 Supreme Road? or
It's across the bottom.
Across the bottom.
308. Now, we also contacted the National Weather Service. That day, we contacted the National Weather Service. The acting director came out and they made a declaration that it was a hurricane. So anybody having any type of insurance, it was claimed as a hurricane by the National Weather Service. Tornado, I'm saying hurricane.
It's
I'm
worse
sorry,
than a
tornado.
It has no mercy.
Right, it was an EF0.
And part of the reason, just for the record, that why our tarp supply was low is because we have not had a storm in 2 years.
We haven't had a
So
hurricane.
we have not been
Right.
able to replenish our stock in 2 years, which is
Actually-
good. We have not had one,
Actually,
but
some truckload.
What we had was left over from Hurricane Ida.
that's,
Before we can
Ida's been how
realize
many
all the
years?
food.
2 years.
We'll need them up.
So are there any other questions, sir? Or-
Talk to you.
Yes, sir.
Request state to supply jury with full-time health sanitary agent.
Yes. There you go.
Sanitarian.
It's, we have quite a few areas in my ward that should have a sanitarian inspector. And we have none in the parish. We used to have a full-time sanitarian. I was wondering why we don't no longer have.
2 days a
Cut back.
week, Tuesdays and
The
Thursdays.
state cut back.
They cut back.
Maybe once an hour, 1 hour a
Yeah,
week.
yes.
But we should have one in-house
They don't have.
all the time.
Maybe, what we can do is request
we
our region, director to attend our meeting. He
Yeah.
came
Please, I'd
last
like to
year.
talk.
We can request him to come to our meeting and give us an update and we can ask him directly.
Yeah, we
I think it's
have.
Laura. I think it's Laura.
Do you know, Mr. Tommy, who's the regional
It's
director?
Laura.
Dr. Brooks. Dr. Brooks.
That's a man? Dr. Brooks.
I'm sorry. Yes, ma'am. He's a man.
Next item, discuss allowing the FFA rodeo to occur while the Ag Center concession stand construction is taking place. At our last meeting, we discussed it and, we had some reservations about having the construction going on at the same time as the rodeo. So, we were trying to see if the rodeo could be moved. Logistically, it's, FFA indicated that it's not, possible to move the rodeo before or after the construction. And they really need this fundraiser. So I discussed it with, parish engineer, Mr. Savoy, the engineer of record for this project, and Mr. Blankenship. And they both agreed that an area could be sectioned off, for construction during this time period. So with that, the question is to the jury, you're willing to allow the FFA to have it, during construction with the contractor being notified that he'll have a construction boundary during that time. And then, I know we have some FFA reps here, and I guess on FFA, you guys understand that there will be a section that will not be able to be used that I know you have used before. So that's,
I'll ask if I can see the section that's could be, like, if we can just see it beforehand, so I can make arrangements to move around, it would be perfect.
Sure, absolutely. So I think construction will begin probably, is it 2 or 3 weeks prior to the rodeo? So,
It's a couple weeks.
right, you'll have a good idea, and Mr. Blankenship, he can probably show you now that area.
Okay.
But once the contractor gets here, that's when we really know exactly what footprint he will need for his laydown area and so forth. But you guys will have to provide, you know, the concession area.
Yeah.
And then the portable toilets, you know, we need portable toilets, for the facilities.
We'll make some arrangements for that, once we can get this rolling, that we can use the rest of the facility.
So how many more have tried to schedule within the same time frame of construction and we've told them no?
None.
None?
So there was one that we had a bad date on.
Okay.
Yeah, but we accommodated.
Communication on.
Okay,
Right.
all right,
Yeah.
Yeah, at this time we had no others.
all right, cool.
And I believe we would extend the same offer to
All right,
anybody that wanted to use it,
Right.
Yeah.
because the construction is limited to the concession stand bathroom.
And we'll be in construction a couple weeks, maybe 2 or 3 weeks in, so we can get a better basis on exactly what we have to do at that point.
Just wanna make sure we're across the board.
Right.
I'll make a motion, FFA to use the facility for the rodeo on that day.
I'll second that
All
motion.
right. Motion by Mr. Mathern, second by Mr. Ponville. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. All right, now let's, discuss the cost. I know in the past we've allowed a 50%, rate for FFA to use it.
I didn't get no value from the.
Well, what I'll ask is, you know, if they're gonna be asked to pay 50%, the jury should cover the cost of the portable toilets for the facilities. I know we can't provide the concession stand, but we can provide the portable toilets, since we are renting the facility to them. So,
I'm no problem with that.
Motion to support your
Palmville got the tallest.
all right, motion by Mr. Ponville,
Palmville got the tallest, y'all.
that we provide the facility at a reduced rate, 50% for FFA, and the jury will provide the temporary
How many
toilet
porta potties?
facilities.
How many? Four? How many people y'all usually expect?
I usually have 1,500 people probably.
You can't handle 2 porta potties? 45, 50?
Yeah, so how many facility, in the fixed facility,
How many
how many do we have?
Yeah, it's probably about 4 to 6 toilets in each
Yeah.
side, 4 to 6 urinals, you know, you got 2 urinals and 4 toilets on the male side and probably 6 feet on the female side.
He's 5 male and 5 female.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
So you have to have quite a few toilets,
Okay.
at least 10.
And just, they have a handicap accessible, something handicap accessible, which y'all have?
Well, we
No,
can
we don't
have,
have none.
you can have a handicap accessible portable toilet.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Second that motion.
So how many
All
you
right.
said?
So how many?
How many?
I say
How
at
many?
least 4.
At least 10.
Let's do five and
5
5.
5 and 5.
5 male, 5
5
female.
males, 5 females.
1,500 people that's coming through.
I don't.
How many hours?
All day.
Well, on
It
the
says
Saturday,
22.
it's gonna have to be the day, the
So
Saturday.
it's Saturday and Sunday?
Yeah, no, Friday night and
Friday.
Saturday. And Friday, we probably could start about 4 o'clock, because that's when we are out to start prepping everything. And then on Saturday, I do the special needs rodeo, where we have that's our community service event during the thing. So we have the special needs rodeo on the small arena side. So I would like the bathrooms available for that as well. Which that's why I asked for handicap, because I have handicapped children that come in and they get to be cowboys and cowgirls for a day on Saturday. So,
So you're using both of the arenas?
yes, sir.
So you're gonna also have to create a staging area with the contractor to make sure whatever materials they have is way further away.
Well, we're gonna have to move our staging area
You got the move.
inside the fence instead of where we had originally planned on putting it underneath the small arena area.
Say no less than 16 toilets.
Well, we don't have that many in the fixed facility, so.
I was gonna say, he got the tallest.
Yeah, but
Okay, we use,
flushing that toilets. This is not, you're not flushing these.
You're not flush.
how many toilets you have in the, facility itself? On the women's side, I think they have what, 4 or 5?
That's what we were just talking about.
Okay.
You're not flushing.
And
But you're
that's
not
usually-
flushing.
and that- But I'm, just from a standpoint, like, I don't never see a real big line on the women's side. When thinking back in my past rodeos, that would have, caused a problem, you know, like where we had a backup. Now, from a flushing the toilet standpoint, I don't know.
Yeah.
1,500 people, you're gonna need some toilets.
And that's for what, a 2-day, 3-day event?
2
Okay,
days.
sir.
Yeah, you
What's
should-
the going rate
you
for
should be
a
good.
toilet, Palmville?
5 and 5.
What's the going rate? You know.
No,
It is 10.
10 should be good.
That's what you said, 16?
16 toilets. You're gonna need 16 toilets for this event. For 1,500 people,
How much is it?
How much it cost, Jerry?
about $100.
A hundred a
Per
toilet
unit, per day?
per day, that's $3,000.
Yeah, them people, because we're gonna come out in the hole.
Yeah, we're gonna come out in the hole like that. Cut it back, you cut it back. I know.
All right, is it acceptable for y'all that y'all handle the toilet rental and we have no charge for the facility this year?
We'll do what we have to do. Yep, we'll make those work.
Seem like a
I've
lot.
already been putting some feelers out and going through some people. My contractor that I get to put the rodeo on is gonna help me with looking at some of that as well. So we'll.
Make sure that's in the contract.
No charge.
So you go with no charge and y'all handle the pull-up.
That sounds good. In my request as well, and I don't know if it's last year, and I had talked to you, Mr. Leroy, I request to use all of the stalls, but I don't know how many stalls that we rent. I usually always give the money back to the jury on the rental of the stalls, and I'll do the same thing this year. I just prefer members to call me. That way they can leave me, a lot of times those members that are coming rodeo in, they text me, and they've been doing this for years. They text me what the rental is. I know the stalls are locked up and things like that. But I just wanted to make sure I can have use of the stalls for the rodeo, and whatever stalls I rent, I will keep track of. I will send you a list and I will make the payment after the event occurs.
How many stalls y'all normally rent?
So the first night, I typically rent almost all of them. The second night,
How many do you have?
they got 35 stalls, but they got one stall last year had like stuff in it, so I think it was like 34 stalls. And like I rented 31 stalls last year, I wanna say on the Friday night. On the Saturday night though, if I rent 2 to 3 stalls, that's it, that's all I'm
And how
renting.
much we charging per stall?
15.
I say we waive that also. Use the stall, use the facility, y'all pay for the porta potties.
Okay.
I just said. my
I
motion would be
understand that,
no
but that
charge.
is a pass-through cost. I mean, they're not, you know, it still costs us to maintain those stalls and as long as they're in working order, I know last year we put a lot of effort into it before the rodeo
Yeah,
to get them in working order.
I put work in it too though.
And we currently have a full-time employee there that's also a part of the expense. That's doing it on a daily basis
That person
now.
is not there for this event being paid.
I know.
So who gonna drag the arena if it needs to be dragged?
They take care of it.
We take care of it.
This year, my motion would be just to waive all costs on it.
All right, have a motion on the floor, Mr. Ponville,
Second.
to waive all costs for this year, second by Mr. Diaz. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Discuss condition of state highways and generate a list for submission to LADOTD at upcoming public hearing. I'll be attending a public hearing this Friday morning at the state capitol to give them a list of roads that need attention in Assumption Parish. I'll go through the list that I have now. If anyone has any other lists to add to it, we certainly can. So LA 1010 from LA 1011 to Hard Time Road, the Bell River Bridge replacement. That is for boat traffic and for drainage. 398, 662. So 398 turns into 662 in by Lewis. I know that project has been on the books for a while and has not been funded yet. LA 1 from the Ascension Parish line to Lafourche Parish line. LA 401 from Highway 1 all the way to the end. LA 996 would be the full length of Highway 996. And another item I'd like to put on there is, Highway 70 from the 3700 block to Bell River. And another item I'd like to include on there is consideration of a study to see if an overpass is feasible at the tracks on Highway 70. Leaving on Highway 70 by CF and, so it is in Ascension Parish. And And just to let you know, when speaking to the engineer, he found that there were records in 1970s that they were planning to put an overpass at both of those locations. And for lack of funding, those plans were just discarded. So
That would be nice.
we like to request, we have a lot of residents that live in Assumption that work out of the parish, and anybody that travels there knows that that train holds up traffic quite a bit. Are there any other highways, state rights away that we need to bring to DOTD? All right, I will submit that list to them Friday.
I would just like to say thank you again.
Oh,
I
you're welcome.
appreciate the continued support that the jury always offers the students of Assumption Parish. Thank y'all.
Thank you all for putting it on.
Yes, sir.
Request a letter to be sent to commercial garbage collection companies requesting that they comply with our noise ordinance. I put this on the agenda, has a resident reach out to me that, they had a dumpster in their area that was being emptied at midnight one night. So I know we have a list of, contractors that, I think we maintain a list that we can give to commercial developers to give them a dumpster. Is that right? Are you familiar with that, Justin? No?
You used to have a list.
That's just the auto.
Yeah,
I used to have a list in the permit office.
Right, I know at one time they did have a list, maybe speak to Carol and Ann and see if they have a list. But just to send them to the commercial suppliers for the dumpsters in our area, to let them know that, you know, our ordinance, or they're not excluded in our ordinance. And
10 to 6 in the morning, 10 at night, 6 in the morning.
right, from 10 at night to 6 in the morning. And have, you know, any complaints that we receive will go to the sheriff's office. You know, so I know you don't have the list right now, but I believe you do have a list, and I'll work with you on that letter to notify them of our noise ordinance and ask them to comply. Next item, request approval of an occupational license for Trash Daddy Dumpsters, LLC, Morgan City. Guess we can add them to the list. Mr. G Carpentry in Thibodeau, Cook Construction LLC in Santa Maria, Alex Washington Express, Napoleonville, Fast Stop of Highway 70 Inc., Donaldsonville, Gagliano's Jellies and Sauces, Morgan City, and Rodriguez Electrical Service LLC, Thibodeau. Get a motion to approve? Motion by Mr. Bro, second by Mr. Alcorn. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Request approval of the following liquor license applications for the Tommy Thomas, P.O. Box 308 Belrose, for Alamonge Festival in Ward 7, Alum Delcom for 1720 South Sunny Avenue, Gonzales Grayson's Entertainment. And that is the event that you were referring to at the Ag Center. Mahmoud Zaida, 7775 Highway 70, Donaldsonville, Fast Stop of Highway 70 Inc. And Leroy Blanchard, that would be me at 6051 Convent Street, Pankerville for St. Elizabeth School Fair in Ward 6. Nicole Thibodeau, 208 Debbie Street, Thibodeau, crew of Xanadu.
Who was that?
Softball tournament.
Softball?
Must be a CSF.
Yeah.
So moved.
Yeah. Got that right.
All right, motion by Mr. Carter.
Second.
Second by Mr. Diaz. All in favor? Opposed? And no, I'll abstain on the one that was for me.
You're right.
Yeah, you can't vote for yourself.
I'll abstain for the one that includes you.
Okay.
Any other business?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion adjourned, but,
I have something to deviate on. It's a proclamation.
okay, we have a motion to deviate by, Mr. Bro for a proclamation. You have a motion to deviate? Motion by Mr. Pineville, second. By Mr. Bro, all in favor? Opposed? Yes, sir.
I have a proclamation I'd like to develop for Emmanuel Elton on the 80th birthday. I have the information here.
Okay. All right.
First of all, I'd like to have it as soon as I can.
People let Haven type it up for you, you get to sit with us. Okay.
So the proclamation is to recognize, her and to recognize February 25th of 2024 as
Towards the end.
Emelina M. Elliott Day in Assumption Parish in honor of her 80th birthday. All right, on a motion by Mr. Bro,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Mathern, we'll declare that proclamation. Any public comment? Second call? Last call. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Motion adjourned by Mr. Diaz, second by Mr. Ponto. All in favor? Opposed? Meeting adjourned.
Don't cook that steak, Chris.
Cut your tape off.
Lift them, something.